All right, everyone, it's time to become a little more fiery, to be the pet, to be the animal, dominating Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Year of the Dragon, 90% with Toro Knight. Take it away.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Spyro Reignited Trilogy, more specifically, the Year of the Dragon edition of the game. I'm so thankful to be here. I'm so excited to do this run, but of course, I'm not the only one here joining me. Obviously, I have the wonderful Cubit. Cubit, how about you introduce yourself?
Hey, thank you, Toro Knight. My name is Cubit, short for Cubit Beat. And I'm going to be providing commentary for this, my blind reaction to this speedrun. So I've played SRT games before, all three of them, casually, but I've never seen the speedrun for 3. So this will all be very new for me to watch and react to, and lots of oohs and ahs.
Ooh, I can't wait to hopefully get those reactions out of you. All right, we have a bid war, as I understand it, and as we have a an actual result. So what will we be coloring Spyro today?
With $15, you will in fact be blue and beautiful.
Ooh, okay. All right. So it's gonna require a bit of a cheat code trickery. Because you know, this is a remake of the PS1 game, and of course, as with almost every PS1 game, there are cheat codes. So let's see if I can get this going. Down, left, up, A. Nope. Left, up, left, down, right, up, X, R, B, L, B, up, right, down, left, up, A. That's good enough. It's always so finicky with these cheat codes, especially on PC. So let's see if I can do left click E3Q1WDSAW. Don't think that was it. Wow. I'll try to see if I can really get this show on the road, because I don't want to delay things any further. Because yeah, no, we got that was the donation, so we are absolutely going to try my best to get that. Worst case scenario, well, at least we still have the retro Spyro, which came in second place. I get the
Depends on how you do second. Are you able to do a purple retro remix?
Ooh, that's too rich for my blood. Too rich for my blood. Oh man. Yeah, it's really interesting how some of these cheat codes just straight up do not work. And it's funny because, like, before we came in, it was actually working just fine. But unfortunately, things just do not want to cooperate. We'll go with one more go, and if it doesn't work, then we'll just have to kind of go at it as Retro Spyro. Unfortunate. And see. Number lock E3Q1WDSAW. Unfortunate. Okay, let's not kind of delay things any further. I am really sorry. I don't know what is happening. It was working earlier, so anyway, we'll try to see if maybe if at a different point I can get it to work. Anyway, let's get this party started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So hopefully with this, with the little time we spent, unfortunately not being able to get the blue Spyro to work, we'll at the very least make up for it with a halfway decent run. So anyway, so this is Spyro Year of the Dragon. If you don't know what the story is, well, the sorceress, our main antagonist, along with her right-hand woman, Bianca, stole a bunch of dragon eggs, 150 to be exact. They are hidden very well throughout this world, and in fact, they are so well hidden that we will come across our very first egg right now. All right, that's it. We're already 1% of the way done. And ooh, okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so we're going to try to do this, something called a perfect hover, where we're basically just a little bit of height. And cool, marathon lock working perfect. There we go, nice. All right, so that was Amy's skip. So basically, throughout the game, we're going to be taking advantage of some really interesting hitbox trickery, where we're able to kind of get through things that are a little bit out of the ordinary. It's like this one right here. And boom, there we go. Right there, that was Miles skip, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of show off a little bit more. There's a lot of really interesting movement tech throughout this game. In the fact that the game, it did kind of have a bit of a rush cycle when it was in development. This did not get anywhere near as much development time or polish as Spyro 1, the reignited version of Spyro 1. And at the bare minimum, it kind of left the door open for some really interesting shortcuts that we're able to take. So one thing about this game is that the main objective is to get 100 eggs. And 100 eggs allows us to fight the sorceress. However, there are a couple of prerequisites heading into those 100 eggs. So there are 4 homeworlds, and every homeworld has its own set of levels. And every level, in order to beat it, you have to get what's called a end of level egg, which is basically, it's kind of like a fancy way of saying just get to the end of the level. However, because of those aforementioned, in regards to some of the stuff that some of those shortcuts, we're able to kind of get to the end of the level real easily. And let's see if I can get this.
What?
And nope. Of course, I gotta sit right on the practice, but not to worry. There we go. And boom. And just like that, we're about to collect the very first egg of this level. And this is meant to be the very last one.
Wow.
So bad at this little like hover jumps when I play this casually. I'd be like, hoop, and then I just fall right down.
Yep. And just like that, by the way, we have reached the end of the level. You're kind of noticing, you will notice a bit of an interesting pattern. A lot of these levels, the way they're designed, it's almost like a circle. And so there's usually a wall or an obstacle that prevents us from just looking back and just walking towards the NPC that gives us the end of level egg. However, you're going to notice that in a lot of the levels, that really is not going to be much of a problem, as you kind of saw right there. There is actually a much faster way to actually get to the very end of level, but you do miss out on grabbing that egg that I got first initially towards the very end. Or rather, that egg, you're going to basically have to do some extra platforming to get to it. So that's why we go for that instead of end of level first. And just like that, we're already at half of the way there.
Wow. So this game was kind of like a little bit rushed compared to the other remakes of this game. So are these like skips that you're doing, can they be done in the OG You're the Dragon game, or the glitches are like really different from the first one and this remake?
So it's great that that's a great question. And yes and no. No, every single level, or most of the levels in the OG, they have their own unique way of being beaten like super fast. But a lot of those instances require something that, whether it's a proxy or something more of an out of bounds thing. In OG, in Reignited, there's really not much of that. So the thing about it is that we have to sort of get creative with some of the platforming. In most levels, that's the case. Unfortunately, not in this one. Molten Crater, there's kind of nothing special you could do here. So it's literally just go for the level normally. It actually would be a great time if our wonderful host has anything they would like to say.
I have a lot of things to say, but I'll just say a couple of things. I want to tell actually someone about, or No, I don't. See, once again, I have nothing to say. I want to talk about one of the programs at Little Warriors. The Bridge community programs are available to the general public to educate children and youth across Canada on several topics to help them navigate everyday life. The online module-based program provides information, resources, tools, and support services in an interactive, age-appropriate way. Programs are available for children 8 to 12 years old and adolescents 13 to 17 years old. The facilitated group sessions may be delivered by youth service providers, professionals, schools, counselors, trained facilitators, and more. The individual program can be accessed independently by any youth or caregiver with an interest, need, or want.
All right. Okay. I have a theory. It's a kind of a physics theory, and I want both of your opinions on this. Some walls are not real. They're not real. And I'm about to give a master thesis, Exhibit A. Really the only exhibit I will have for this, but I think it's a pretty compelling one. See?
Oh man, is Spyro breaking the fourth wall? Is he breaking it?
Yep. See? Doesn't exist. No corporeal being can do that. So obviously that means that Spyro's real. It's the wall that wasn't real.
It's real. And he's now a kangaroo? What?
Yep. So this is the main gimmick of Spyro 3, the introduction of the animal companions that we'll see throughout this adventure. Here's the funny thing, that out of bounds trick allows us to play the Sheila minigame here much quicker than expected. We have not free Sheila, so all of these animal side characters, they're all trapped. We have to free them and pay off money bags, which is a greedy little bear. There's nothing little about it, but he is a very, very greedy. And we have to basically play that side character's individual level. However, with that one out of bounds trick, we're able to kind of get into the portal that lets us access the minigame before we even get to play as Sheila in a little bit. So that is kind of like one of the interesting things. That's actually one thing that it does share with the OG, Spyro 3, is that a lot of the levels where you have that little minigame, you're actually able to bypass it and figure out some way, whether, like I said, it's out of bounds, it's a proxy, or whatever shenanigans you can think of to access them early. There's a lot of really funny stuff you can do in the original, but you know, a lot of funny stuff you can do in the Reignited version, as we've kind of already seen, being able to access the end of level eggs much quicker than anticipated in Cloud Spires, and being able to play as Sheila much earlier than expected.
Yeah, because even having played this like casually, it felt like such a different vibe from like the first two Spyros, because all the other new characters in this game are so self-contained. So you have like Spyro running around in these worlds, and then suddenly you're turning into Sheila off in this like little corner of the world here, right? And then like suddenly you're like a penguin elsewhere, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll get to the penguin in a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna give the Chico one more time, because this will be the last time we play as Spyro for a hot second after this level. 3Q1 WDSAW space. Really, it does not work. That's really bizarre. It shouldn't be giving me this much of a trouble.
Is it because you're on the pause menu?
No, that's the only way to access it, actually.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that is kind of a interesting little detail. So we'll give it up, left, down, right, up. We'll give one more go here. If not, we'll give it a go in a couple of other instances.
I can cover you in the meantime, because I have a PhD in wall physics and video games. I couldn't afford a PhD, so I got a PhD. Does this have anything to do with the Spyro has a puzzle paradox?
Maybe.
Explanation, please.
Okay, so we just finished with Trico's muzzle, which is the beak muzzle that doesn't hurt. So
Yeah.
because technically, if Spyro was real, then does Spyro have teeth? But if the teeth are not a part of Spyro because they're technically not a part of the wall that Spyro went through, because going through our wall would break the teeth, and the teeth would disappear with the wall because Spyro remains, but we never see the front of Spyro, so those teeth never exist. So the paradox is he could have a magical muzzle hidden behind the muzzle of Spyro, which is not a fire-breathing one, it's a wall-breaking one. So if we're breaking the fourth wall, does that mean that Spyro's muzzle breaks the fourth wall, which breaks the fake walls, which makes Spyro the only thing that's real?
This blew my mind.
It's an interesting theory, and I'm willing to buy into that. It is interesting. So I am curious as to why this is not working. I think it probably has to do with the fact that maybe it's something with my number lock, as it does include putting in dumb numbers. So when we get to the next homework, this is actually going to be the last time we play as Spyro in this set of levels called Sunrise Spring, because immediately after this, we're going to get to the aforementioned kangaroo Sheila. First, some interesting, like, fast travel trickery. Oops, there we go. But yeah, it was funny because, like, I was trying to figure out whether or not there was some whether or not I was going to be able to execute these codes. And I did actually get Blue Spyro before the run. Then I was trying to the other ones to make sure that they were working. So I'm not sure what kind of went wrong. Oh, by the way, this is Moneybags. You're just so smug. And yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to pay Moneybags. There's the objective is obviously 100 eggs to fight the sources. However, we have to free the animal companions in the first 3 levels. Those are the only, like, gem requirements for the speedrun that we absolutely must focus on. So in total, that's 2,000 gems. So right now, we just paid Moneybags 300. So we are at just a tad under 900 total. Yeah, see? Now we're at 900 total. So now, our next objective is to try to get to 700, which we will get to 700 naturally already in just from this level alone. In fact, I would be shocked if we don't get to under like 720 gems, because there's a lot of gems to be had in this level. And the cool thing and the thing about Sheila is it's just a lot of like vertical gameplay, a lot of hopping and everything. And so we're kind of actually already at the end of Sheila's level. They're not long levels. None of these animal buddy levels are long. They can be beaten in like a couple of in like a minute or minute and a half. Let's see, what's our gem count? Oh.
I had such a long time getting used to Sheila's movements because I love Spyro's moveset. Like, he just moves so like quickly. He's so fast, and like it's just fun to speed through things. And then suddenly I'm like this kangaroo, like trudging along, trying to hop onto like these cliffs and fall. I'm like, why can't I get up?
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, every single one of these new animal side characters have their own sort of have their own kind of like unique gameplay style. Sheila is more focused on vertical gameplay, and with the next one that we hinted at a penguin, that one is more focused on aerial combat.
Yes.
And the next one is gonna be like a big slow beat 'em up, and hopefully we will get to them soon enough. All right, here comes our first boss, Buzz.
She's just like, you're on your own, Spyro. Have fun.
Yep. All right. Yep. And so Sheila's going to be here to actually take all the credit for just going to do one move. Meanwhile, we're the ones that are doing all the hard work. So here's the funny quirk about this fight. We can skip these little buzzing cycles. Beautiful. And save us about like 10 seconds every time Buzz have to sort of like take a cycle. Oh my god, that was so close. There is a chance that, like, it doesn't immediately end the cycle, and as a result, you kind of take a hit, but if you're not really careful, he could very much give you a hit. Okay. We're on our last hit, believe it or not, so I have to be extra careful. And the sheep ran away. Cool, cool. They're good. All right. Okay. Let's see if this works. Okay, good. All right. We're good. We're good. This is usually one of the bigger run enders for a lot of runners, because depending on where you are positioned, if you try to sort of get out of the way, Buzz can hit you while you are technically flying outside of the arena, and when he hits you, you just basically get like stomped into the lava, and Spyro eats a big old faceplant and dies. That's that's kind of like the unfortunate part of it all. But that was it for the first quarter of the run, Sunrise Spring. Now we're going into Midday Gardens, which is where you kind of see a lot more interesting ways to go around the level. First one is going to Enchanted Gardens, which is going to be our first instance of using the quit game mechanic, where this is kind of an interesting one in for Reignited. So if you hit quit game, you get an easy quick access to the level that you're at when you hit quit game. And also Sparks, which is the little dragonfly that's kind of basically being used as your both your gem pickup and your health bar. He recovers back to full health. And we sometimes use this quick game mechanic to be able to warp back to the start of the level, because it's much faster to do this. And just like that, we're already at the end of the level.
It's like a Sparks warp?
It's not a Sparks warp. It's just a mechanic with the game where you hit quit game and you automatically, when you return, you just go to the start of a level.
Okay.
By the way, I haven't not really made much mention of it, but some of the baby dragons, they have some really cute names. We just saw Peanut right there, and I'm kind of wondering, and obviously I'm doing this run, so obviously I can't read chat, but the only way for me to figure out if any of you have a... Oh, forgot to have to jump. If any of you have like a special little cute dragon name. Wow, how did that not register? Okay. Okay. There we go. That was weird. Anyway, anybody has any... What would you name your own baby dragon if you had to? And chat, if you want me to know what your baby dragon name would be, I can't read chat, but if you put in a donation, I might be able to hear it. Wink, wink. And of course, this is a game that was originally made in 2000s for the PS1, so of course there have to be some skateboarding involved. Funny enough,
it was the Year of the Dragon when this came out, right? In 2000.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. Was this actually the Year of the Dragon when it came out? I'm actually like really curious.
Yeah, the year 2000 was the Year of the Dragon, and that's when this game came out as well. It's a little nod to the actual Year of the Dragon of that time.
The more you know.
Yeah.
All right. Icy Peak is one of those levels that we aren't able to do something funky and get to the end of level immediately. However, the cool thing about this is that there is a lot of movement tech and a lot of really interesting eggs that we're able to get significantly quicker than intended. This is another instance of, hey, you know the very last egg you're meant to get while you are, if you're playing this casually? How about we get that first? Let's see. Really? How did that not work? There we go. But normally, You're meant to go around the entire perimeter of the level to get to this point. But no, we could just go all around with a very well-timed charge, jump, and hover.
Oh, that would have been so nice to know playing this casually, because this was a rough level for me.
Oh, it's a rough level for sure playing casually.
Yeah.
And there we go. There's main art skip. So there, that tank, that cannon actually had a tiny hitbox that Spyro could stand on, and it was just enough for me to be able to get a really well executed glide to be able to get it going. Now comes the thieves. These thieves have 2 eggs, so we're actually gonna get the second thief first. And boom, that's 1. Ooh. And
I did not realize you could eat him off the cliff like that.
You can, and we're gonna go straight to it, and boom, just yeet them out into the ether.
Just bonk.
It's completely fling them into the next dimension.
Yeah, just a blink of an eye's gone.
Well, this will not be the last time we get to do something like that. I promise. They are one of my favorite things to do in Spyro. All right, we're about to free our next animal buddy, but while we do that, how about we get any announcements, any read-offs, anything of our wonderful hosts would like to say?
Well, we do have a $25 donation from James Swan, who says, let's go ahead and add some cat pets to that counter. I won't be able to stick around for the Chrono Trigger run, so I want to see all the cat pets in the VOD. I agree, I also can't stick around, but I want to see all the cat pets. And just to remind everybody, donating right now, there is one thing that's open. That one thing is to pet the Time Cat, Chrono's Cat, and Chrono Trigger Bucket List Randomizer coming up after a couple of runs. So make sure you get those donations in, put it towards that. When you click the donate button, there's the incentive. You go, boom, Chrono Cat incentive, and make that happen because, well, cats are cool. That's all. That's like my ESA. Cats are cool.
Oh yeah, I agree. As an owner of 2 cats, I couldn't agree more.
Yes, one cat over here.
2 cats. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and just like that, we've already beaten the level. You know what the funny thing is? That this is an interesting level as far as design goes. We've actually only explored half of the level. There's an entire second half of this level that we actually don't need to explore. And at the very start of the level, the hummingbird was like, oh, Sergeant Bird, all the hummingbirds have been trapped in cages. We need to rescue them. Making you think that's actually what you're supposed to do to get the end of level. Like, nope. You can ignore every single one of them, which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah, for some reason the game makes you think you have to rescue them, but it is significantly slow to rescue them, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I thought I remember the Sergeant Bird's level being longer than that.
Oh, they are. We just don't actually get to explore them.
Yeah.
Right, this is an interesting level because of this jump. I made that look so easy, but that is a deceptively tricky jump to do. It is one of the more tricky jumps in the entire run, believe it or not. You lose quite a bit of time if you're doing that. This is also, I could be wrong. As far as like in an any percent capacity, this is the shortest level in the entire run. Because just like that, we're done. Level's done. It's as simple as that. The level is done.
Yeah. We're spending so much time like hopping from tree to tree in this level too.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, there's like this is also one of those instances where you get to explore like half of the level to actually beat the level. And there's a lot more, including, oh, people that know me, they will know, oh, the Spooky Swamp has my least favorite minigame in the entire franchise. I'm not even kidding. The escort mission with the hummingbird.
I hated that. I hated that so much. Like, I generally hate escort missions in general. I think a lot of us can relate to that, but that one with Sheila especially is so rough. It is the roughest I've ever done in a minigame.
I fully agree. And Spyro and beloved people who love Spyro. Oh, I will get to my point in a second. First, let's see if I can get this. This is a really tricky wall glide. There we go. Boom. And just like that, we are at the end of the level.
Spyro just has to bang his head against rock a couple times, and then you're done.
That's fine. All right, so this is the one point in the run where I am not sure. No, the first point where I'm actually gonna need some silence. There we go. Yep. So the reason why I needed some silence right there is because I needed to wait for an audio cue on my left headphone for a thief to basically make a little sound indicating that it is running. The way this thief works, and like with a lot of thieves, is that they can only run forward at the start. And so we try to essentially kind of make it so we're forcing the thief to go and meet us kind of like halfway, like basically at the bottom of the bridge, and so I can get a quick flame. If I didn't get that flame, we would be losing like a lot of time. We could be losing anywhere from like 15 to 25 seconds. Like that's how important that little trick was. But yeah, going back to a little conversation with the like the worst minigame in the Spyro franchise, I argue this is this one. Most people will say, oh, the trouble with the trolley one in Spyro 2 and Breeze Harbor is the worst one. No, it's not. This is the worst one.
I don't think the trolley one was that terrible. Like, it was rough, but it was like the worst.
Thank you.
It wasn't the worst.
All right, here comes boss number 2, Spike, which highlights a really fascinating design detail with regards with this game in comparison to the original. So you're gonna see Spike will only need 6 hits to be defeated. In the original game, there was something that the game designers did that's called adaptive difficulty, meaning throughout the game will naturally be harder or easier depending on if you do certain actions, if you die X amount of times, if you activate certain power-ups, X number of times, and that will make the game like much easier or much more difficult. Spike is the best example in the Reignited Trilogy of highlighting how different the adaptive difficulty can be. Reignited does not have have such a feature. This game will always be on what the PS1 version always considered the easiest version. The hard version of this fight is you have to fight Buzz hit Buzz 9 times total. He shoots way more, is exponentially more aggressive. Like he is the worst fight in the entire game, and not even the sorceress is that bad when it comes to the adaptive difficulty version. So this one is so much easier. It's so much better to manage this time around compared to the hard version of PS1, which is what a lot of runners experience, because they play the game so well, the game has no choice but to make the game as hard as possible. All right, we're actually a little over halfway done with the run, believe it or not. We are in, so this is Evening Lake. This is where the run starts to ramp up in difficulty in terms of a lot of the platforming. I love Frozen Altars as the first one because it highlights like just a lot of the cool stuff one can do. Like for example, what I just did, that's not what you're meant to do. This level has like a bunch of like sundials or like sunbeams or rays or lasers or whatever in order to basically melt a lot of the ice and some abominable snowman that we are not even gonna confront once. So here is, say it with me, another way to get to the end of the level without actually playing the level. We get a fancy little wall glide there. And we beat the level. The level has been beaten. This is my absolute favorite feature to like show off to people in who've never really seen a lot of Spyro Reignited 3 speedrunning. It's
Yeah,
just,
and having played through this level casually, I can especially see now how impressive just to get to that egg immediately, because those sundials were such a pain to do casually.
Yeah, it's so annoying to deal with.
That was rough. Yeah, it was rough.
Especially when like the snowmen have to are constantly moving, which make things a little bit difficult.
Yes.
All right. Now comes fireworks. There's nothing special for this initial portion of Fireworks Factory. It's just kind of go for the game normally. So this is another great time for anything our wonderful hosts would like to say. So, floor's yours, Pokanoob.
Well, first of all, Toro and Cubit, you're both doing a spectacular job with this trilogy run. Thank you very much for it.
Thank you.
And we appreciate every donation towards the Little Warriors, but we also appreciate spreading the word of this worthy cause. If you are on social media, you can also help out by sharing our social media posts and getting the word out about this event and Little Warriors. Type !socials in chat to get links to Prevent-A-Thon's social media. And why don't you come join our supportive community and find out when we are prepping for future events by joining our Discord. You can type !Discord in chat to get an invitation link now. Right now, it happens. Cause and effect.
You don't have to break any walls.
Yeah, no Buzzle Paradox.
No wall breaking.
It's Buzzle Paradox free. They have like pet picks and awesome people, but the pet picks always come first. But like awesome people, no paradoxes.
There we go. Sorry, I was focused on this particular trick. That was Sam Skip. As opposed to basically running through the entirety of Ninja HQ, you can just essentially get a really nice damage boost and go to the top of that ledge and you just get the egg and you save yourself like an extra like 30 seconds having to run through the entirety of the thing. So now comes another interesting little quit game thing. And this one is absolutely necessary to prevent getting soft locked. Because this whale was not fully programmed correctly. Because the issue with that whale is you can... How should I say it? Soft lock. You can soft lock. But I'm talking like soft lock. Where the whale just, depending on its positioning, it will try to turn around and... Depending on the area where it starts to turn around, it could get like stuck where it is, and you lose like a lot of time when that happens. So, we just opt into quit game and go to the start of Evening Lake, just to kind of avoid that little potential headache. But now comes every runner's favorite level, Charmed Ridge. This is one of those. The run can either survive or just kind of end right here and there. Because there are a ton of tricks that you have to try to do and a lot of like potential little movement tech in order to avoid losing a lot of time. And this is one of those levels where one small mistake can compound into a ton of time loss. But thankfully, so far, no real mistakes here. Let's see. Anybody any big basketball fans? Because 1, 2, 3. Curry. Get all 3.
Slam dunk.
Yeah, getting those cat whisters is the first one is the most important one. The second and third one, it's not required, but it makes life so much easier. So now here's kind of where I was talking about at the start of the run with the perfect hovers, where you don't need the little flower seed to be able to get to those mushrooms. You can just do a perfect hover and like really time the height of your jumps just to be able to get to those mushrooms pretty darn quickly. Funny enough, even though perfect hovers is not a thing in the original, there are still ways to actually get to those mushrooms basically how I'm doing it, and is like its own unique way of getting up those mushrooms. So this is kind of one of those fascinating moments where the OG and the Reignited version have their own unique way of going through the tackling the same problem. So far, not a real big nothing overly concerning with this Charm Bridge. As far as the marathon setting is concerned, this is actually pretty solid. I did say so myself. Let's see. Let's actually... Okay, no. This won't be better than my PB, but it's not far off. Not far off. All right. Oh, I need a drink of water because we are fast approaching one particular moment. In fact, it's one moment in the game that is so big, I'm going to dedicate the entirety of the level before just to explain one thing. I'm not kidding when I say this thing will make or break. Oh, no, I wouldn't go that far to say like make or break the complete run, but there will be a titanic time loss if I don't get this.
Considering this level, is it a literal Titanic? Is it that big?
It's bigger.
It's bigger than the actual Titanic. Oh, wow.
Metaphorically, it is bigger. So yeah, so this...
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's a big ship.
All right, here it comes. Actually, one of the... I would say, even though I've had a checkered past with this minigame, it's actually one of my favorite minigames. Submarines, where just basically blast a bunch of submarines and you get a free egg. There's 2 eggs, but we're only going to tackle the first one. Come on, get it. Okay, that's fine. That second one is not... Missing that second one, not the end of the world. Okay, that's fine. Gonna wait until... Ooh, okay. Interesting. There we go. Okay. Little sketch, but that could have been significantly worse. That could have lost me an extra 20 seconds, so... All right, not much. All right, let's just forget about these crabs that just spawned in out of nowhere. Just gonna ignore them. All right, and hopefully I don't get this ghost, and boom. That ghost right now does not get me. I guess you could say, doesn't stand the ghost of a chance, huh? 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 Please laugh. I worked hard all morning on it. All right. So we are at 988. Okay. Yep. This gem count's great. Okay. This gem count is perfect. We need 12 more to access our final animal companion that we are going to free, Bentley. And it is in this level where there's nothing eventful. And normally I would get Pokenoob to, say if there's anything they would like to say. Pokenoob's done a phenomenal job hosting. However, I'm going to have to steal the spotlight for a second. To go over, by the way, perfect. 1,000 gems exactly. Because this... What's gonna occur next is going to be big. It is... In terms of pressure, it is arguably one of the most pressure-packed tricks in the history of Spyro speedrunning. And I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that. So after this level, that'll be it for Evening Lake. Our next boss, Scorch. There's nothing interesting about Scorch itself, but it's what we can do with Bentley aiding us in that fight. There is a trick called Rocket Storage. That trick is the end result, or at least that we hope so, is to get Bentley to throw us a rocket, a specific type of rocket, at roughly the exact same frame as the final hit on Scorch. Doing so allows us to bypass a 1,000 gem check at the following level that we're about to get. Let's see if we get this. Okay, perfectly. However, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of involved in setting up that trick. There's two types of rockets that Bentley can throw. There's a green rocket and there's a red rocket. The setup is as follows. We want to have Bentley throw 2 red rockets to have lying on the field this entire time. The reason why that is so is because he has kind of like an internal inventory where he only has 4 green rockets and 2 red rockets. We want to try and get Bentley to throw a green rocket at the same time as Scorch is defeated. So we have to get 2 red rockets out on the field, because if they're out on the field, Bentley doesn't have any red rockets to throw, so he has no choice but to throw a green rocket. But at the same time, we also can't have all 4 green rockets out on the field, because he's not going to throw any green rockets. And this is a very, very difficult thing to execute, because you don't control, at first, you don't control Bentley's rockets, what he throws first. So the hope here is that Bentley throws within the first 2 rockets that he throws, that one of them be a red rocket, because red rockets give you 50 ammo. Green only does 1, but they both do the exact same amount of damage. So obviously you want to get the red rocket because you don't have to worry about ammo. So now comes the trick, comes the fight. This is a fight that can, like I said, can make or break marathon runs. If you're like at a high level in this game, I'm not kidding when I tell you, you miss this trick, your run, it's done. Like, you're not gonna PB at all. It's that bad.
Pressure, no pressure.
You lose RTA. You lose like a little over 2 minutes. On the PC version loader move, you lose at worst about 85 seconds. All right, that's a green. All right, Bentley, let's not do this. Bentley, let's not do this.
Bentley.
Oh, Bentley.
You're killing us, Bentley. Bentley, come on.
Bentley, we've been over this. Okay. Okay, this is fine. This is still workable. Very workable. Now comes the start of the setup. So now, I cannot tell what he just threw. Oh, he didn't. That's one. Beautiful. All right, we only need...
Oh, you got another red.
We only need 1 more red. Get it? And now the thing is, we have to count to 9. That's green. That's fine. That's fine. We still have ample time. Come on. Throw the red. Throw the red. Wait, is that a... I can't... Oh, wait. Did he already throw the red? 4, 5, 6... Hold! Hold! I'm the goat of this game. I'm just gonna say it. I'm the absolute goat of this game. You've just seen rocket storage in play. Or rather, the execution of rocket storage. That was rough start. I did not realize that Bentley had already thrown a red rocket. It must have been one where I guess he just did not give off a sound cue of that. So I am so glad he did that. Oh my god, that was... Oof. That was... My history with this trick is best described as streaky. I could go 20 attempts, 20 runs, and not hit it once. But then I could also go like 8 runs in a row and hit it every single time. It's that hard and that pressure packed. So now, time to hold off the little surprise that comes with executing rocket storage. As soon as we enter the next level, Crystal Islands, this is what this trick has been leading up to. You've seen Spyro just do, throw, like, flame everything. What about throw a green rocket? Yep, that's it. That was literally it.
And the rocket's green glare?
Yep. Yep. So basically, to kind of describe sort of in lore in the game, Spyro took a lit green rocket in his mouth, rode a bigger rocket while having the smaller rocket in his mouth, held that for the entire journey, and somehow multiplied it by infinity, because he can throw it as many times as he wants, even though the counter only said he just picked up one. And that is big because as a result, we don't have to pay money bags one bit. And he requires a 1,000 gem payment in order to execute, in order to get to the next, to the second half of the level. So this is monumental. If I didn't hit it, there is a backup that does the exact same thing, except we have to go refight Spike. It's super consistent. Like, it's almost impossible to mess that one up. So, but at the very least, we're able to have no issues whatsoever and then just simply have a nice way to get through Crystal Islands. All right. We went from the most pressure-filled trick of the run. Now we're going to go to the second most pressure-filled trick of the run. Haunted Tomb. All right. All right. We are at the start of the level. Ah, so close. That was close. Really. And boom. All right. We just beat the level. We have just beaten the level. Okay, that little scuff.
Oh goodness.
That was scuff, but listen, I'll take a fourth try torch jump. Yep.
Hey man, compared to what I endured playing that level casually, no, that was fantastic.
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, you can fail that trick 20 times and it's still faster than going for the level normally. This it's so bad.
I did not enjoy that level. I did not enjoy that one casually.
All right. Now, I'm gonna be a little more quiet for this specific egg because this is a crash point in the game. Like, the game can actually crash in this minigame. Believe it or not, the game crashed at this minigame when I did this run on GDQ hotfix last month. Okay, beautiful. That's a good snipe right there. Okay. So now, I'm gonna try to see... Ah, okay, beautiful. Another good snipe right there. The trick is to try to really get those tanks, like, in the back and try to kind of see if you can just get... And... unfortunately, no, 3 for 3. Ah, whatever. That's fine. Not terrible. That was not a bad thanks to. And thankfully, we avoid the game being crashed. The game from crashing. Oh, what game? Okay. I did not tilt the joystick right, by the way. That was Spyro doing that on his own. Those stairs are weirdly glitched where it can just, for whatever reason, magnetically pull Spyro into like a completely different direction than intended. But in fact, if I've had that happen on a PB run where it just messed up Spyro's movement so much that I lost like 10 seconds as a result.
Man, just from stairs?
From stairs. You can, funny
That is
enough,
rough.
at the very top of those stairs, you can actually stand on those stairs. Bizarrely enough, you can stand on those stairs. And Spyro can also be glitched and just like be in a suspended falling animation cycle. Or falling animation loop, rather. So yeah, this is a little bit bizarre. A little bit bizarre.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, let's see. Okay, we got another really interesting wall glide trick. It doesn't skip to the very end of the level, but it cuts like this beginning portion of the level. Ah, I turned a little bit early. That's fine. There we go. No problemo there. But yeah, nothing special throughout this run. This level is another one of those like go for the level normally and just have really good type precise movements. So, Pogonoob, floor is yours if there's anything you'd like to say.
Absolutely. First of all, hello, Raiders. There's been so many Raiders coming in. Thank you very much for joining us on Prevent-A-Thon, where we're raising money for Little Warriors. Little Warriors is a national charitable organization focused on the awareness, prevention, and treatment of child sexual abuse. They also advocate on behalf of and with child sexual abuse survivors. For more information, visit littlewarriors.ca or type !info in chat. The name Little Warriors was inspired by a painting. The spirit of a warrior lives within every victim of child sexual abuse. Like a warrior, these children also need the help, compassion, support, and love of many people, like a tribe, to overcome the many obstacles they will face. We currently have an incentive open for your donations, which is Time Cats. We love time and we love cats, and eventually the Chrono Trigger run coming up in a couple of hours is going to be run by Derek in a randomizer bucket list run. And there's a cat, Chrono's cat. It wants to be pet. The more that we can pet it, the more happy we will be. So make sure you get your donations in before that. Every $10 goes towards petting that cat. Make it happen.
Awesome. And that was actually beautifully timed, because I was actually going to say you could go a little bit long with that minigame that I did, which basically was like 53 seconds of like whatever you want to talk about. That was actually beautifully timed. Of course, you're doing a phenomenal job as our host, as always.
Oh, Toro, it's all about you and the charity, not me, but thank you.
All right, let's see if we can trick this thief into going. Boom, there we go. All right, here comes our last new level of the run, believe it or not. We're actually kind of we're actually getting to, this is like the end game of the run. There is, I'm willing to say, like, maybe like 5.5, 6 minutes left on the run, hopefully. And this one's kind of like an interesting one, because there are a few eggs. This first egg is one of those, like, it's one of the last ones you're supposed to get. But nope, we just get it right here, right now. One great thing about this homeworld setup level is you don't actually have to beat the levels. It's at this point, it just, however you want to get to those 100 eggs to fight the sorceress, that's what you have to do. So thankfully, that's you don't have to worry about getting to the very end. Although we are actually gonna get to the very end of the level, not right this second, but on a little second go around of this level. Because after this level, we're actually going to visit a previous level. Oh, can we get a nice little proxy? There we go. Yeah, that was yeah, with Sheila in that one specific egg, you can, like, whatever reason, get like a super duper jump boost and be able to jump over the egg in the middle of the animation of it being opened. Doesn't save you a lot of time, but it's always really nice to hit in a run.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen Sheila jump that high before.
But yeah, we are going to revisit this level in just a second, but there's actually one other level that we need to look at first. We're at 95 eggs. There are 3 more eggs that we actually never got on our first go around in Molten Crater. The reason is because one egg is locked behind Sergeant Bird, so it was actually impossible for us to get right this second at the time. And this one, we only have to pay money back 300 gems, which is why I was not, when I said, like, we don't have to worry about the last 300 gems, because we're just going to get them naturally throughout the level and throughout the rest of the game after we free Bentley. So now there are 2 thieves that we're going to have to get. This first one, boy, this one got like a really big lead. Hopefully I can get him quickly. Okay, good. Oof. That's the thief I'm actually more worried about. The red one, not worried at all, because we can go for the level, or we go for this little circuit real quick and pay close attention to where this thief is gonna get sent. Boom.
I said.
All right, and now there's there's Sergeant Bird, and there goes Sergeant Bird. Bye. That was it. That was it. That was the reason why we come back mainly for the Sergeant Bird egg. Just that one egg, and that's it. All right, we're back to Desert Ruins. We are at the start of Desert Ruins, and we are now at the end of Desert Ruins. There we go. That's it. Another instance of, hey, we got a well-executed perfect cover that just left, that gives us just enough height to get to the rest of this the rest of this platform. All right, that was egg number 99, and I want to see where Sparks. See, all right, I don't know what the time on my own personal live split. I have that like we are a little we're like a little over 56 minutes. I don't know if it's similar to on the other on the actual timer, but this is just kind of basically saying, unless something goes colossally bad, this is gonna sub hour. We are going to sub hour because we are now in the sorceress fight, and it's roughly like 2 minutes from this point. Actually, a little under. If everything goes well, it's gonna be a little under 2 minutes. So, so Sorceress has 10 hits. There's 3 phases. First 2 phases are you use a cannon to damage her. Next 3 hits, use a small little tank. And last 5 hits are in a using UFO. Also, that's Agent 9. That was supposed to be the last animal companion that we were supposed to free, but clearly Agent 9 didn't need our help one bit. And all right, let's see if we can get it. A snipe right there. Beautiful. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful phase 1. That was very well executed. The trick is to try to kind of aim for where the sorceress is running towards and just kind of predict how far she's going to run and just kind of get the early hits on her. So that first one, that was really well done. Now comes the tank. And let's see. Ah, beautiful. All right, that's gone very well. All right, we're already at the second half of the. We're actually now in the final phase of the fight. So, time is coming up in the moment I hit the final hit. I get the final hit on her. What? Excuse me. Okay, game. What was that? You all saw that, right? You all saw that! Oh, that I missed right there. Right, 3 more hits. Let's see if on... Oh, yeah, on PC, on the load remove timer, this is going to 47. That's actually really solid. All right, final hit coming in. 3, 2, 1. Now, okay. Damn, I missed that one, but hey, I got on the next one. All right, GG's. All righty then. Ooh, I'm happy this sub hour. Really happy this sub hour. Oh my goodness. All right. What a run. What a run. One thing for sure is I do apologize for not being able to get the blue Spyro out. I don't know what went wrong with inputting the codes in, because it was working just fine. And although Cupid can attest to how involved it is to get those cheat codes in with a lot of the button inputs. But
yes, Tordai was giving me the rundown right before the run. I didn't realize there's so much that went into just changing Spyro's colors.
Yeah, but hey, overall, aside from that, I'm actually pretty happy with this run. Pretty happy with that run because we're able to, the big thing, got rocket storage for sure. By the way, nice little cameos from the Professor and Alora from Spyro 2. The only times in this game where in Spyro 3 where you actually get to see them in those little cutscenes. And then just kind of get to see like these cute little cutscenes of Spyro trying to search for Hunter. And there's you kind of missed it from the entirety of the run, but there was like a budding like romance subplot between Hunter and Bianca that we just kind of we just skipped in its entirety.
Yeah, basically Hunter's like, hey, she kind of cute, and Bianca's like, I don't like him. Well, yeah, maybe I do. Leave me alone.
Yeah, Spyro's like, ugh, girls, ugh.
Yeah, Spyro's like, ew.
All right. But yeah, I run this game quite a lot. I am in the middle of something that's called a 10K challenge, which is kind of adopted from like the Spyro 2 speedrunning group, which is essentially you do 100 runs of a certain category, and because any percent in Reignited 3 has you try to collect 100 eggs, 100 runs, 10,000 eggs. So that goes the 10K challenge. This run would have been run number 50 of the 10K challenge, but unfortunately, I couldn't do a practice run to make it run number 49 earlier this morning because I had maintenance come into my apartment. So unfortunately, this is I would say this is the spiritual halfway point of the 10K challenge, and it's been an absolute blast going through this game, being able to show it off at Prevent-A-Thon. I'm so happy I was able to do so because I feel like I'm a much better runner this time around as opposed to last Prevent-A-Thon when this game was actually backup. So really happy this time around. It got the thumbs up to show it off, and I'm so happy to have been able to have such a wonderful audience see this game for people who have never seen Reignited. I hope you all had a lot of fun, and Cupid, I hope you also had a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah, no, that was wild seeing some of those levels. Like playing this game casually, some of those levels took me so long to beat, especially like the Egyptian tomb level and like the snow level. And I literally just blinked like once or twice and you were done the level. And I was like, so yeah, that was really cool.
Oh yeah. I'll just get my my little plugs out the way real quickly so we can get this wonderful marathon off on the next foot. You can find me on Twitch at Tornite. I do a bunch of games, whether it's either the Reignited Trilogy or the OG Spyro games. I also do stuff like Pokemon TCG, which I actually showed off last year at Prevent-A-Thon, Mario Golf, Ghostland Yard, a lot of different games. So if you're into a lot of platformers in speedrunning, yeah, you'll find me at Tornite, and hopefully we can get the other 51 runs of the 10K kind of dealt with, and hopefully getting closer and closer to the world record.
Tornite, Cubit, beat. I looked at the name and I'm like, nah, we'll cut to 1/3 of it out. Thank you very much. That was a spectacular run of Spyro. We're going to take a short break, everybody. You've been watching Prevent-A-Thon 5, and we'll see you on the other end of it. Thank you for watching.